You're owner operator and you fully go with your own authority. You just got to make sure that you've done your homework on what you want to do, if whether it be dry van, flatbed, dump, or even box truck. What you want to put on the back of that truck is going to make sure what your rates is. You got to make sure you're getting the right amount of money that you're going to be able to haul this down the road. And I just let you know right now what I do. Most of the time our loads is covering by the ton. The loads I pull, I do a hazmat load that I can pull from Mooresboro, North Carolina to Chicago, and it pays $185 a ton. And I'm not telling y'all nothing that I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna tell you sugarcoat nothing, because if you want to come out here, you need to know these things. I'm not gonna hold nothing from nobody. My girl Slimepack, she knows if she needs a phone call, she can call me and I'll let you know. $185 a ton plus your fuel percentage. You get probably 65% of that in fuel, making almost $4,000 on the load that's going less than 700-800 miles. So you do the math. Yeah, I'm staying with this dump to the day I die. I'm gonna stay with the logs to the day I die.
So you just stay looking at this camera. These just gonna be just like off looking. You know.
Okay.
What is up, Slime Pack Nation? I'm back again with another trucking interview. And here today, I got somebody that's local around my area, and I'm going to just let him introduce himself.
What's up, peoples out there, my other truck drivers. My name is Edward Leggett, and of course my company is called CEL Enterprises. So that's me. Been in this game for a long time.
All right, so speak on what led you up to getting in trucking, and how many years you've been in it.
What led me into truck driving is, I'm gonna make a long story short. I've always loved to drive, and then I started getting into some trouble. We're gonna make it short. So in and out of trouble, got locked up a couple times, and I talked to my uncle. Couldn't figure out where I wanted to go, and he said, "Why don't you jump on the truck?" So I was 20 years old, and as soon as I turned 21, I jumped on the truck and started driving as soon as I turned 21. So it was like I started. This year will be my 20th year. December the 3rd is when I went to Swift, good old Swift, and started driving. So 20 years in the game, I know a lot, seen a lot of crazy stuff, know a lot of crazy stuff, and it's just been, tried to get away, but I couldn't. It's the lifestyle it brings is something awesome, and I know some people have their good sides and their bad side to it, but it's always been enjoying. I just tell people this, that if you want to get out here and you want to drive, you can travel the country for free once you start out, and then you get to see a lot and everything like that. You get to experience a lot too. I started out with Swift. And,
I was Swift back then, because now Swift just get like a lot of bad rep.
Oh, it's the same. They was the number one company when I started back in '04. They started out, they had 32,000 trucks on the road at the time. So, and then they bought, the reason how they came about that was they bought this company called Central Refrigeration, and that was their reefer units that they acquired, and that's what made them the biggest company. And then you had your smaller Snyder company, and then JB Hunt and whatnot. But Swift had the most trucks on the road back in '04. Had over 32,000 trucks on the road. So you could see what type of rates and what type of driving, like long distance, you was doing. You wasn't doing much of it.
So when did you decide to branch off and like do your own thing, get your own truck?
Well, it was a while before. I just started on my own probably 4 years ago. I started out, but when I started driving, I broke away from Swift after 5 months. I got away. I was tired of sitting. They had me sitting sometimes 3 and 4 days. One time I sat for a week just sitting because they was waiting for somebody to offload the trailer. And I said, I can't do this. So I started working, looking around. I jumped on with this company called JB Hunt. Then I went local for a little while. And then 4 years ago, I went out and I tried to start my own. I was trying to get into the management part, trying to get out the truck and get into the spots to where you managing the trucks and stuff. And I was with this one company, and it just didn't want to give me that chance. And so, same time, my uncle said he had a truck, and so I went out to Texas, San Antonio, Texas, and I bought that truck from him. All the money that I had saved up, my wife was she was okay, but she was like, hey, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. So I went on ahead and bought that truck, and ever since, I haven't looked back.
Now, what do you carry?
Right now, what I carry is I'm a dump driver right now. I was driving. I've done just about all of them. I've done the first time I got on the truck with Swift, I was on a car hauler. That's what that number one thing was. And then I switched over to the dry vans. And then I did trash hauling, which was like a walking floor where the floor would slide out. And then I've done the pup trailers, I've done doubles, I've done hazmat tankers, and recently I just got into the dumps where the trailers go up into the air. Kind of dangerous, but it was the best thing for me. Once I seen it, got into it, it was like, I think this is where I'm gonna stay at. So right now I'm just running an end dump. I work with this company, local company, or it's not local, it's out in New York, a company called Page. And we do a lot of rock, scrap metals, things like that. Anything that can go in the back of that trailer and slide out the back, that's what we do.
Now, I got some people within my little YouTubing network, and some people interested in the dump truck. Can you speak on how to get into that?
Well, you gotta have some experience in it. Dump trucks and what I do, dump trailers, is totally two different things. Now, if you got the experience in the dump truck, you can slide that over. But if you trying to jump into the dump trailers, those 39-foot trailers is nothing to play with. Like they tell you, it's got to go up to come out. And once that trailer goes into the air, you only got a little small hydraulic press that's lifting that trailer into the air. And if that stuff don't slide out right, or you off at wrong angles, it will fall over. It's a little dangerous, but it is something that's good to get into. You just got to watch your trailer whenever you're doing it. You got to make sure you get out and you look around, make sure where you're going to dump it is leveled. You got to have a level ground to dump on. You cannot dump on something with a tilted. Even a frame trailer can still tip over. So that's what I'm doing now. It's not, I would say, don't say it's fun. None of this stuff out here is fun. It's just it's an exciting experience that you look forward to getting into. If it's something that where you think you can handle it, then I say come out there. Dump trucks is something that's totally different. It's a shorter trailer. You go up in the air with that. It doesn't have to be on level ground, but it's supposed to be. You could be a little off with that because it's a shorter span where the truck and the dump part is. But it's still, it's a scary thing. It's dangerous, but it's a good work to get into. Local work is, especially now during the summer times, asphalt, and you're hauling your rocks and your gravel, stuff like that. It's just something different than what normally like a dry van or flatbed. It's something different to get into, and it's pretty exciting. I'd say for me it was, and that's it. It's just.
So, any advice you would give new drivers coming over the road?
The advice I would give new drivers, like I tell my people all the time that want to drive out there at least a year, before you try and go local or anything out there, because it depends on what part of the state you're in. Some parts of the states don't get snow. Some parts of the country don't get snow. Some parts do. But if you drive over the road, so you can learn all the elements, all the seasons. You know how to drive in each one of them, and you'll know how to pretty much better, regulate yourself whenever you're out there on the road. Because if you go local and you get into an area where it's snow, you've never driven in snow before, you're not gonna know how to ride. If you've been in an area where it's a lot of rain and you don't, you've never been in that spot, this rain is another serious thing that can move that truck to a spot where you don't want it to be. And you know, clear weather is always good. You know, cold stuff like that is always okay. But I tell people, always get all the elements. Make sure you can drive in all the elements before you try and when you come out here and you start driving. To give it at least a year so you can learn how a truck runs, how a truck operates, the fuel side of it, what you need, the ins and outs to know about those certain trucks, and you know, just go from there. You just study on what you learn. It's like a science for me. Every time I get in the truck, I'm learning the truck. I'm pushing it to see what this truck can do. Anytime I've ever been out there, I've got 2 trucks. So my red truck that's my grandpa truck. That's an old truck, but that truck can haul. And then my newer truck, I got a 2016 International Pro Star, and it's a little lighter. That's what I haul my dump with, but it ain't one that can do like that red truck. Ain't nothing like that red truck that I got. But that white truck can still get down the road.
So now you do all the mechanical work on your truck? You work on your truck yourself?
Pretty much I do most of it, but that's just me. I know my son is supposed to be coming out and he wants to drive, but he said, I'm not like you, Pops. I can't get out there and get under the hood. It all started from working on cars. And so only thing from working on cars and working on trucks is the engine is bigger. You know, you got a lot of bigger components that you work with and parts that you have. And but some stuff I will do, like I don't want to, I work on every part of that truck that I can. If it's down to taking off the brakes, down to taking off tires, changing tires, I know how to do that because whenever I was doing the trash trucks, we had to actually get out there. Sometimes when we didn't have a load, we had to work with the maintenance guys and the mechanic guys, and we was changing out tires and stuff on trailers that was messed up. So it kind of got me into the part of fixing on my truck. And then too, another thing is whenever I'm out there on the road, if a part breaks down or a part breaks or something like that, it's going to take you sometimes 90 minutes for them to come out and get to you. Well, if I've got the tools and stuff to work on it, then I'm going to try my best to get it to where it can be fixed, to where I can get to a shop or to a part store to get a part, or I'm not getting ready to sit there on the road. And I can tell you a recent story. A couple months ago, I had the slave solenoid on my truck, which is the clutch that you push down that engage the clutch so that you can change the gears. It broke. As soon as I pulled into the little rest stop, it broke on me. I couldn't get it back in the gear. I called my son. He came all the way 8 hours up to Pennsylvania and brought me the part. I put it on that same night and we drove home. I couldn't deliver my load that next day because they was closed. But it's always been something. Once I got under there and I seen what the part was and I seen how we could fix it, it was something. Now, internal parts, engine parts, I don't really get into that. I will take it to a shop. Like right now, my truck is in the shop for the AC. I've changed the compressor on it. I changed the dryer. I did all the high and low parts, but I still couldn't get it to work. So some parts I still have to take to the shop, but most of the parts that's on that truck, I even do my own oil changes. So every 20,000 miles, I'm changing my oil, which is probably for me a month and a half. So every month and a half, I'm changing the oil on that truck. So
how did you balance like that family time while being out over the road?
Well, when I got into it, when I was younger, I didn't really much have a family back then. It was just, just me and my moms and whatnot. So I could stay out going months at a time. When I started out, when I left from Swift, and went straight to another company. I didn't even go home. So I left from there, went to the bus, jumped on the bus and went straight to the other company, and I stayed out for about a month and a half doing that. And I would usually stay out most of the time, good 2 weeks, 3 weeks when I first got into it, and then it gradually slowed down as I got older and more experienced in it. I dropped down to where I was doing like every 2 weeks. I would come home every other weekend, and then it got to where now, since I'm on my own trucks, I come in whenever I want to. Like I've been off all this week, and I was just off 2 weeks ago for a week. So I just make my own schedule, which that's the good part about it. Once you get out there and you can be able to make your own schedule, it's a good thing. But you got to think about it. There's no PTO time. There's no paid time off. None of that. It's all on you. If you're off and you don't have enough money to cover your bills and whatnot, then you're gonna have to get out there and ride and grind for a little while so you can make sure that you cover it. But that's another thing. That's another story that you can talk about.
what's like at least two of the obstacles that you have overcame within your experience?
The two obstacles I've overcame in this, first off, is getting on the truck, and it wasn't hard, but then it wasn't easy. There's a lot of red tape you had to go through. Make sure all your credentials, your driver's license and stuff was straight. And then the other obstacle was whenever I jumped out there and I tried to get my own truck. Like next year, I'm going out and it'll be my second time doing this all on my own. I did it once. I had my own authority, and I kind of got stuck in something, so I had to jump back and I went to contracting with somebody. And so that's what I'm doing now. And so next year, I'm going to go and get my own trailer, my dump trailer, and probably get a log tree hauler for my other truck. And I'm just gonna fully be out there. CEL Enterprises will not be under nobody else's authority but mine, and that was the struggle for me when I had to go and buy that truck and put that truck on the road, because it was not cheap. And I bought the truck when the truck expenses got like crazy high. They was selling trucks. A regular 30,000 truck was now up to 80. Then once you get finished with the finances, it's up to 120. So that was the hard part for me. But once it's a lot of oodles and noodles and hot dogs and bologna sandwiches, peanut butter sandwiches that you're gonna have to eat to get to that point. But hey, it'll work out.
Yeah. Anything else you would like to share to the people?
I
got a lot of people that's really interested in becoming owner operators.
I just say if you're gonna be an owner operator, do your homework. If you're going to go fully on your own, make sure, when I say fully on your own, that means your own authority, you're paying your own insurance. Even though when you're an owner-operator and you contract, you're still paying the insurance, you just got somebody else doing it. That's why they take a percentage of what you have. When you're owner-operator and you fully go with your own authority, you just got to make sure that you've done your homework on what you want to do, whether it be dry van, flatbed, dump, or even box truck. What you want to put on the back of that truck is going to make sure what your rates is. You got to make sure you're getting the right amount of money that you're going to be able to haul this down the road. And I just let you know right now what I do. Most of the time our loads is covering by the tons. Most of the time we can get $2,000 for a load, and it might go from here to Chicago. Or $3,000 for a load. It might go from here to Pennsylvania. That's what we do. So you got to make sure.
We in North Carolina.
No,
I'm telling we in North Carolina
we're in North Carolina right now. So the loads I pull, I do a hazmat load that I can pull from Mooresboro, North Carolina to Chicago, and it pays $185 a ton. And I'm not telling y'all nothing that I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you sugarcoat nothing, because if you want to come out here, you need to know these things. I'm not going to hold nothing from nobody. My girl Slimepack, she knows if she needs a phone call, she can call me and I'll let you know. $185 a ton plus your fuel percentage. You get probably 65% of that in fuel, making almost $4,000 on the load that's going less than 700-800 miles. So you do the math. I'm staying with this dump to the day I die. I'm going to stay with the logs to the day I die. But that's money in them logs too. So shout out to all my peoples, the dry vans, the reefers, the flatbeds. But if you really want to get out here and do something, come over here to the specialized. The tankers and the dumps, you will always have something going on.
All right, we're just going to end it right there, man. Thank you for coming on the channel.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.